Amiga Week begins now. It is December 6th in the year of our Lord 2023, and we are kicking off yet another themed week here at the Lunduke Journal. If you have not taken part in one of our themed weeks before, you are seriously missing out. They have been an absolute blast. We've done DOS weeks, BSD weeks, PDA weeks, 8-bit computing weeks, gaming weeks. I mean, it's really been all over the place. We did a one entirely around the Serenity OS. We did one around the Plan 9 operating system. I mean, it's been really all over the map. And every week kind of has a different style. Every week has a different level of excitement because it's so many different topics that we're covering. I'm really personally extremely excited about Amiga Week because I never had an Amiga. I never did, and I wanted one so badly. I had friends that had an Amiga. I got to play with Amigas, but I never had one of my own, and I still don't, so I'm going to be spending most of my week in emulation, plus some Amiga-like systems. But I am really excited to see what I can do in a modern Amiga inside an emulated environment here in 2023. And I'm excited to see what all of you are going to be doing. I know many people within the Lunduke Journal community have their own Amigas, actual hardware that they're going to be using over the course of the week. And other people have never touched an Amiga before. So I'm excited to see what they think of one of the most fascinating and culturally interesting operating systems and hardware platforms ever. Now, if you are wondering, what exactly does Amiga Week entail? How can I take part? How can I celebrate? What topics are actually involved in this? Now, here's a smattering of it. There are the Amiga operating systems, which include all of the classic systems from the 1980s all the way through the 90s and onward, as well as the modern systems, because yes, Amiga OS, believe it or not, is still under active development today by a commercial company. And we're gonna talk about that over the course of the week, and we're gonna look into all of that. But beyond just the Amiga OS itself, there are many Amiga-like and Amiga-inspired systems, including Morphos, Eros, the Amiga Research Operating System, and a number of distributions of the Amiga Research Operating System, which runs on x86 hardware. Syllable, which I've actually covered in the past, and several others. The Amiga has had profound influence on a number of operating systems over the years, including systems that essentially are copying the Amiga OS in many, many ways and trying to bring some level of Amiga software support to the game, which is very, very cool. If you do have Amiga hardware, well, then this is all going to be very obvious to you, but many of us are going to be trying to use emulators to emulate Amiga systems, assuming we're not running just some of the Amiga-like systems, which are all open source for the most part. An emulation of the Amiga system is fascinating because you cannot do it for free legally without owning an actual piece of Amiga hardware. However, there is a thing you can purchase called Amiga Forever that gives you all the ROM files, what they call the Kickstart ROMs, as well as the basic floppy disk images to run a full emulated Amiga completely legally. It's amazing. I'm going to go over how to do all of that today and tomorrow, and I know a bunch of other people are planning to utilize some of those things as well. And then, of course, there's all the Amiga games, because the Amiga was famous for games. The Amiga software, the style of Amigas, which, I mean, let's be honest, the Amiga had a very, very unique look, feel, and workflow to it in so many different ways. And there are ways that you can emulate that look and feel on Linux and many other systems nowadays. So we're going to go into all of that. And of course, there's all the Amiga history. There's so much here to talk about. So much to talk about, and so many ways that you can take part. If you just want to lurk and enjoy all the articles and shows and the posts from all of the community, because lunduke.locals.com is not just all of the articles and shows that I put out and the comics that I put out, but everybody who posts their own content to lunduke.locals.com, it's top level. Meaning you see all of it if you want to. And so that gives everyone a chance to publish their screenshots and video links and everything else they want to put in there. So if you want to share and enjoy what other people share, it's perfect. It's the perfect way to do it. You could just play Amiga games. You could run Amiga systems, real or emulated or based, whatever you want to do. Post screenshots and questions and thoughts and videos and whatever it is. If it's Amiga related, yeah, we want it. We want it, man. Just find some cool Amiga videos, scouring through YouTube somewhere, post it. It's an Amiga week. The goal is for us to come away at the end of 1 week of Amiga Week, all of us knowing a little bit more about Amigas, about the Amiga systems, the history of them, how they work technologically, what it's like to live in them, really what it feels like to run an Amiga, and having a deep appreciation for the good and the bad of classic and modern Amiga and Amiga-based systems. I mean, there's just so much here. So if we walk away from this week just being a little bit more Amiga informed, well, then we've succeeded. And even if we haven't, even if you are the biggest Amiga aficionado on planet Earth, I hope it's a great opportunity for you to have some fun with your Amiga, because they're really cool systems, and this is what it's all about, right? Computing should bring us joy. Our computers should bring us joy and happiness and excitement and curiosity and wonder. And this is a great opportunity to do that with everything related to Amiga. So here we go. We're kicking off right now. I've got a few articles that I'm going to be posting over the next day or two. Some of them are older articles, and then I've got a few newer articles that are going to go through how to get started with some of these systems, with Amiga emulation and with all of it. So that way it gives everyone a chance to really just get jump-started with emulating that little boing ball bouncing around the screen. All right, everybody. Have a great time. Post something Amiga-y, and I will see you over at lunduke.locals.com.